Have you ever been at a crossroads in life and it's a really important decision you're about to make because the decision you make will send you down one path or another and you're not sure which decision to make? Hi, I'm Mary Morrissey. I'm the founder of Life Mastery Institute. I'm the author of two best-selling books. And today, in honor of Father's Day, I'm going to share a piece of advice my dad gave me when I was at a crossroads that I've used for the whole rest of my life at no matter what crossroads I'm standing at or facing. In the United States this weekend, we're celebrating Father's Day. So we all have one thing in common. We had a birth mother and a birth father. So for a moment, join me in just giving thanks for your birth father. No matter what your relationship growing up, or if you had a relationship, or if it was a wonderful or not so wonderful relationship, no matter what the relationship, without that man, you would not be here. So we give thanks for our birth fathers. And those of us that got to grow up with that man and all the many wonderful things that happened and the learning experiences and all the ups and downs of having our dads in our lives, we give thanks for our dads. And we widen that and give thanks for all the wonderful men who have ever influenced our lives in ways of support or encouragement or teaching or wisdom or guidance or support, just believing in us. We give thanks for all the wonderful men that have ever been in our life. It's Father's Day, and that's not a holiday that's constricted to just one country. We all have fathers, and we can all give thanks for our fathers as you watch this video right now. So you're at a crossroads. If you're not at one right now, you have been or you will be, because that's the nature of being in this experience. And how do you know which path to take? Well, there was a time in my adult life, in my family, my dad was had a man of his time. He was born in 1918. He served in World War II. He served in the Korean conflict. He'd learned over his upbringing to be rough and tough and gruff. He was a teamster. He was in the trucking industry. And as a little girl, I remember being frightened by his gruffness and toughness. And inside of that was this big, warm, soft center that you got to see now and then. Then in my adult life, we became friends, and I married young. And after many, many years of marriage, and had my former husband and I not been so young when we got married, we probably would have never married each other. We would have always liked each other and appreciated each other, but not married. So we did get married. And then years go by, and in my family, no one ever got a divorce. Nobody. And there came a time after 9 years of therapy and all kinds of things happening in my life that I just knew that I couldn't really live my life and stay in that marriage. I was in my middle 40s by then, but I was afraid to talk to my dad about it. And so I went to my dad, and I also knew deep down, I respected him so much that if he said to me, you can't get a divorce, you have to, sleep in the bed you made, you got to do the thing you said yes to, I would have done that. I don't know if I would have done it for the rest of my life, but I certainly, in that moment, I was feeling fragile when I went to talk to my dad. I would have done something different. So I went to him and I poured my heart out, and I said, this is what's going on, and I'm thinking about leaving, and I respect, you and Mom have been married almost 60 years. I know your value on commitment in marriage, and, what do you think I should do? And my dad looked at me and he said, kind of with this gruff thing I was used to in him. He said, well, there's only one thing you can do. And I expected to hear you have to stay married. I mean, this is a commitment you made. Honor your commitments. What do you think I should do, Dad? There's only one thing you can do. What's that? Do what gives you life. He said, anything else will make you a false person. Do what gives you life, Mary. Do it well, do it kindly, but do what gives you life. It was so freeing to me because I knew what would give me life. And yes, I wanted to do it kindly, and I wanted to do that completion part well. But I also felt this new freedom that I actually could pursue a life that I love living while I was living it. It would be years later that my son Matt would call me from college as he's about to graduate cum laude from a university that had been a significant investment for him to go to pre-med. And he had just taken his MCATs and passed his MCATs, and he was on his way to be a doctor, and we're about to go to his college graduation and celebrate this young man's wonderful achievements and accomplishments, and on his way to medical school when I get a call from my son, Matt. He says, Matt says, Mom, I know you've invested a lot to send me to college, and I know all of this, but I just had this growing nudge in me that I don't want to be a doctor, I want to be a teacher. And I'm just wondering if I've got two applications on my desk in front of me, one to go to medical school, one to become a teacher and enroll in the University of Oregon in their graduate program in teaching. Would you be mad at me if I changed course? And I said to Matt, there's only one thing you can do. He said, what's that? I said, I'll tell you what my dad told me when I was at a crossroads. Do what gives you life. That advice has served me over and over and over again in my lifetime. So when you're wondering, you're at a crossroads and, well, maybe both paths give me life. If you really imaginally go down each path, just imaginally go down each path through all the things you know would happen if you made that choice. And then kind of let yourself go into the dark of the unknown. Maybe close your eyes and just pay attention to 6 months down the road with things you don't know will happen down that path. And just notice how you feel. Then come back to the choice point and go down the path imaginally on the other crossroads path. And all the things you would expect to happen if you make that choice. And then into the places that you don't yet know. Close your eyes. Imagine it's 6 months or a year after you've made that choice. And notice how you feel. One of those two paths will feel more expansive to you. And if you do what gives you life, it will always be the right choice. My dad had some pretty good thinking. This is his hat. I kept this long after he passed. He passed in 2003. I keep it in an inside shelf of my desk in the front where there's other art pieces, and I keep this hat to remind me of his good thinking and his encouragement. Not only his love for me, but his love for doing what gives us life. You've got to do what you love. You've got to make a choice for life. So I wish you well on this Father's Day as you celebrate the men that have impacted you, your birth father, and all of the wonderful ways that men have impacted our lives. If you've enjoyed this video, please share it. Go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already done that. But here's a question for you. In honor of Father's Day, what's something valuable that your father taught you? And go ahead and place it here, because Father's Day can bring a lot of warm feelings, or it may not bring up so many warm feelings, but you learn some things along the way, and we can learn from each other. So go ahead and post here what it is that you learned from your father. Share it with me in the comments section below. I love hearing from you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you real soon. Bye for now.